Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Instrumental Ramblings with me, Dusepo. This episode we're visiting o Museo do Fado, or the Museum of Fado in Lisbon in Portugal. Now here you can see two different sizes of Portuguese guitar, naturally, in Portugal. The one at the top is more of a modern style or body shape, and the smaller one at the bottom is more of a kind of historical style. You can also see at the bottom here a fingerboard on its own, or fretboard. Here again is the more modern variety, and you can see the especially unique tuning mechanism, which is called leques, which means a fan, and Portuguese guitars almost always have this style. And this style historically was used on both the English guitar as well as the Portuguese guitar and the German Waldzitter. And I should clarify for those not familiar with the instrument that the Portuguese guitar and the English guitar are both not guitars in the strict sense as we would use the term nowadays. They're steel or historically wire-strung instruments which are members of the Cittern family. Now here on the left of the two Portuguese guitars you can see what appears to be what we would call a guitar nowadays. This is a steel string guitar though, not like the nylon Spanish guitars. And this is the kind of guitar that would usually be used in Fado music. Always has steel strings and it's used to accompany the solo instrument, the Portuguese guitar there. And in Portuguese, the Portuguese guitar is called guitarra, and the guitar here, what we would call a guitar, is called violão. Now here's a display of three different types of Portuguese guitars. This one here with the scroll on the top is very typical of Guitarra de Lisboa, which is the Lisbon variant of the Portuguese guitar. There's also the Coimbra version, which is from northern Portugal. They have a slightly different tuning and a slightly different scale length as well. Now here of course is the lutherie section. This is an exhibit showing the construction of a Portuguese guitar. Here is a mould or form, and here is a soundboard which has been already inlaid around the sound hole. Now this Portuguese guitar is a Coimbra version, and it has this teardrop on the top which is very typical of the Coimbra version. Here's a pair of ribs or sides which have been bent, ready to be made into a Portuguese guitar. Now here's a much older version. This one is from 1890. This is a view from the front, and then this here is a view from the side. If you're as much of a lutherie geek as I am, and let's face it, you're watching this video, so there's a fair chance you might be, here are some dimensions of the instrument from 1890, which you can use to build a reconstruction if you wanted to. Here's an interesting version with two sound holes instead of the usual single one, and please excuse the reflection of me there. And a closer up picture of the one with the two sound holes here. This is a Lisbon one because of the scroll here. Guitarra de Lisboa. Now here's a famous painting which shows a lot of the history of Fado music, in that it was particularly people who worked certain jobs, shall we say, which I'm not sure I'm allowed to mention on YouTube, but me and Laurie previously did a radio show all about Fado music, and we go into a lot more detail there about the history of the music and the social situations in which it arose, and over time came to be accepted in kind of higher society. Here's a modern Portuguese guitar, and again for the massive lutherie geeks like me, here are some size details. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Instrumental Ramblings. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and there's another one coming soon, so stay tuned. You know the drill. Subscribe if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine too, because não sou sua mãe.